Back on Inside Tennessee, we did check that website that we talked about earlier, and you can get it based on your website. Maybe you have some things server blocks it, others don't. But again, we were able to access it. You can still see it as of this taping. Perhaps it will come down before this airs, but just to make that clarification. All right, Bryan, let's talk about your door-to-door knocking. We hear a lot in this country about the national election hinging on two issues, the economy and immigration. Are you hearing both of those talked about when you knock on doors?
I honestly have not heard about immigration at all at any doorstep that they've knocked on, and I've been doing it since February. But definitely the economy comes up. And what people are feeling is the real crunch at the grocery store and the creep of inflation into their family budgets. And I'm proud to support an elimination of the grocery sales tax, which would put about $400 into the average family's pocketbooks at the end of the year, and has a couple of pay-fors with Representative Bain's proposal. I don't know how we can have an honest conversation about helping families in a state where one year we put a $1.5 billion corporate tax giveaway and we don't talk about the sales tax on groceries. One is the most regressive type of tax. The other one helps 51% of the companies that got it out of state. It's out of state money that didn't come back to Tennessee. So I talk about economy at people's doorsteps from that angle. One, to help families on the middle and lower income spectrum, put more money into their pockets.
So let's talk on that same vein. Let's talk about TennCare and health care within our state. We historically have turned down federal money on the belief that it was tied originally to, quote, Obamacare, the Affordable Health Care Act. We're still turning down money. What do you think you can do, and as Susan has pointed out, what will likely still be a supermajority, hopefully for not much longer, but what do you think you can do to maybe persuade some of those hard right colleagues that you likely will have here soon to maybe come around and be thinking about money that we're paying in? It's our money.
It is a total economic issue, in my opinion. I mean, our current supermajority loves to highlight the fact that we have a great rainy day fund. They love to highlight the fact how fiscally responsible we are in our fiscal ratings, all right? I graduated from the Haslam School of Business, all right? It wasn't in economics, it was an international business, okay? But turning your back on over $23 billion of Tennessee tax money over the course of now 14 years, 13 years, is the opposite of fiscal conservatism. That's just fiscal malfeasance. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about a dollar and cents thing. If we want Knox County to be inundated with people from Roane, from Union, from Ray County, because they can't afford to have a hospital in their counties, then let's just keep going on the path that we're doing. But if we want to support our rural hospitals, two of which in my business I've sat at and watched them go bankrupt, and I've had to chase money because they were insolvent because of this issue, then, we have an opportunity to correct that. And I agree with you, Don. 2010, it was a political hot topic. And there was an election in 2012, and they didn't solve. And there was an election in 2016. And for 4 years, we had a Republican House, or 2 years, we had a Republican House and Senate and a presidency, and they still couldn't figure it out. At this point in time, we have got to move past the political conversation about that expansion and get back to the dollars and cents. It makes sense.
I want to ask you about your fundraising, how that's gone. And one thing that happened in the Republican primary in August was the governor got very involved in those races because of vouchers.
He had a particular issue, that's right.
Because of vouchers, and you're opposed to them. And there are some voucher opposition that got beat badly because there was a lot of outside money that came into those races, $1 million or so in a local race, to be honest. Have you seen any evidence of that at this stage coming to your opponent, or anything against you at this stage?
And Bryan, just newsflash, Governor Lee will not be for you. Go on.
I can tell you that when we're door knocking, we're often following up with pro-voucher mailers that are being left at the doorstep. I don't know if that's from my opponent or from Governor Lee's effort or from an outside party, but they're still pushing it in my district. I think my opponent has gotten some PAC money from the pro-voucher people. And so I fully expect that to be an issue of the day, and I trust the voters. I think that the Democrats are on the right side of that issue. But you asked me about fundraising. I've been very humbled with the support that I've gotten. Over 650 individual donors. We've raised well over $125,000. I'm sure by the airing of this, it'll be even more. And I'm even more proud to say that I've gotten 2 PAC checks. One from pipe fitters and plumbers, and one from carpenters. I work in construction. All right, that's $1,000 of PAC money. The rest of it is 650 individual donors.
One last political question before we have to run. Is there one precinct you're circling on election night you are going to watch most closely?
I think Dean Hill. I'm looking at Dean Hill. There's a couple of them that we're looking at, but we're seeing movement like we started this show. I'm seeing movement at doors where Democrats used to go to die on Dean Hill. We're having a great response. They're very unhappy with the current representation and looking for change. And, you know, they believe that I am a real moderate because that's what I'm at. And we can talk about the issues, agree where we don't agree, and all that jazz, but I'm feeling good.
Bryan Goldberg, we appreciate the time. Best of luck in this election.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're back with our talk around right after this.